All right, let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about building teams, right? Right now we're transitioning and we're leveling up right now. We're taking the company to a new level. If you guys don't know and don't see what's going on, I know there's changes been happening. So I just want to clarify with you guys in terms of what the direction we're moving toward. Okay, if you notice, we're talking a lot about new sales, new revenue, new products, mobility, dish, alarm, all this stuff. Why do you think this is happening?
Growth. You gotta
Growth,
grow.
growth. Now there with growth, people always think growth beautiful, beautiful, right? And then when things get tough, they're like, why? That's what growth is. Because when you're stretching, muscle is gonna rip. Look at Steven's buff as heck right now, right? He's getting bigger by the minute. It's like when you're working out, you're stretching. You gotta stretch and break certain tissues so that way more can expand. It's the same thing. So what we're growing from is this retention-based type of model where 80% of our sales is retention to more of the new sales model, right? And I know it's painful because we're used to going in as AT&T and then introducing ourselves and lowering bills and all that. Not that it will stop that. That's still a leverage that we want to play by. But I'm seeing out there in the field, guys, it's not many of those customers, right? Let's just be transparent, honest here. We're all leaders. We know the challenge. I don't want to BS you guys. The fact is, we did a really good job with the retention in the past 6 years, right? Would you guys agree with that? Man, yeah. I'm like, I'm finding the corner of the cuts, right? I'm over here dodging, weaving, finding the smile. I was like, oh, somebody was 2 weeks ago. Break when I was 2 weeks ago. Right? So amazing, great job. We did that. We want to still do that. The only thing is right now I found like this new opportunities here that we may be sleeping on. And the new opportunity that I want to reintroduce to you guys again is this new win back orders. It's not hard like before. Now, this is, when I say before, I'm about 3 years ago when I was in the field. Spectrum just did like this whole new layout on our OC and LA. So we were like going into an area and they're like, oh yeah, they just put in this new Spectrum fiber and it's only $89 for all three. And we're like, freak. Like, every time I see Spectrum, I disengage. You know what I mean? That was my thing. I tell my guys, look, Spectrum, you guys are not good enough, man. Just find the laydowns. Just go for the AT&T. No joke. Ask Andy. I was like, don't be a hero. Don't be a hero. Find the AT&T customers with high bills and go save them money, right? Now it's quite the opposite. I find Spectrum customers paying an arm and a leg, man. Right? I just sent you guys an article here. Let me share with you guys. All right. So that way you guys can be more certain in what we're doing. The key here is certainty. So I'm glad I called on Isaac and he's talking about the same subject I'm talking about. I think one of the things that stop us from pitching or taking Spectrum customers, we have this misconception that Spectrum is somehow better than AT&T. Now, I'm not saying AT&T is better than Spectrum too. I am saying there's certain customers that AT&T is better. We gotta find those customers and serve those customers. Does that make sense? Here's what I mean. If you have a Spectrum customers that have 300 meg and they do a speed check and that shit is 200 meg, get the freak out of there. Don't be a freaking hero. Our 100 meg is not going to compare with the 200 if they're getting it, right? But a lot of time, 8% of the customer is dealing with this right here. Check this out. This just happened last year, so actually it's very settled. I thought it was still happening, but they had to pay $18 million to customers because 170,000 customers reported that they're not getting close to even the internet speed that they asked for. So they just settled the case with 18 mil. This just happened, right? So what this is telling me is that there's at least 170,000 customers that hate Spectrum. I'm sorry, right? So there's a lot of haters out there. Find them, find them, right? Help them out, and then we have a lot arsenal now to offer them, right? I'll say it again. I know he's very big-headed. But it is, I say how it is. I was very impressed and my eyes wide open in our ability now to serve customers at the level we can. Stephen was able to sell 5 different types of services to the Spectrum customers and still save her $40, right? $80 TV, no discounts on the first month, cards on everything, social, tax ID. This thing called EIM or whatever. It's like the SIM card you need for a cell phone, right? So we gotta evolve to that. And when we can and we start doing more of that, what is gonna happen is our ability now to venture into different campaigns, like a dish campaign independently or a log and stuff like that, will open up. Does that make sense, guys? So we're gonna evolve to that. And that's how we're going to change the game. At the same time, we also have the ability to do much more. I'm always going to grow the back office to do more. Right? So one of the things I'm going to talk to Paul and his team about is how can we do more so that way it makes your life a lot easier in the field. Does that make sense, guys? So that's a promise. Okay. Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, I would say one idea that I had was, you see that customer that was laid down? She gave all her information, social and everything like that. Yeah. And she had good credit. We could save that and then add her to the alarm list where next week, next month, we go back to her and say, hey, who's your alarm system? She has alarm for sure. And that will be a slam dunk right there. I just don't know about alarms, so that's why I couldn't tell them about the alarm.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking
that could be like a lead for sure.
For sure. That makes sense. So the reason why I'm talking about this, guys, is because our goal as leaders is to do what? What did Isaac talk about?
Increase certainty.
Increase certainty, right? So we have to increase certainty in our ability to demonstrate at least one sales a day, right? And how do we do that? How do we create certainty in our new reps that we're training that one sale a day is possible? How do you think?
By being certain in ourselves.
We must be certain ourselves for sure, right? So do the Superman, go to the restroom and prime up real quick and come back like when you start getting beat up and crap, it's like dismiss yourself for 5 minutes. Go freaking prime up. Download that IM app from Gio. I was doing this once, like, well, this is pretty very cool. I'm very happy. Every freaking thing. They did like 10 of it. I was like, oh, this is nice. All right. What else? How else can we increase certainty as we're training our new reps?
Making it fun and seem relaxed.
Making it fun, seeming relaxed. Why is that? Why does that increase certainty? What certainty are we doing when we're having fun and relaxed with them?
If they're enjoying the time, they're not going to be focused on the negatives. They're just going to enjoy what they're doing and have fun with it.
Oh man, this is so key, man. The day can be long or it can be a blink of an eye. It's all what you make it, right? It's like, have you guys experienced like a day was like, dang, it's freaking over, right? 2 sales and crap, like, can I get one more, right? Or days like, oh my gosh, it's only 4 o'clock. 3 hours to go, I'm gonna, I have the tiger. Right? You don't want to go, I have a tiger training someone, they're gonna be freaked out, man. Right? Does that make sense, guys? So you gotta have fun. So one of the things that I had a lot of fun yesterday actually with Steven and Andy. It's like we actually hadn't worked with each other since we started the company. I actually didn't work with Steven since 15 years ago. So it's quite different now. Now I'm being schooled. I was like, hey man, I'm like, I'm taking notes. There's some good stuff right here, right? And it's okay, right? Sometimes you learn stuff from the people that you've trained. That's what it's all about, man. It's like there's room for everybody in the strength area that they are. Steven is a sales beast. I would encourage you guys to work with this and just like freaking get your eyes wide open, because I was like, when you think it's not possible, he'll show you what's up, man. Okay, cool. So it's one thing, we gotta increase certainty by having fun. What else? How else can we increase certainty? Yes, Joseph, what do you think?
I'm actively thinking, but I think we also can increase certainty by kind of preparing the rep to know what to expect. You know, a lot of times I tell them, you know, we don't know whether we're going to close the deal or not, you know, but I tell them we're going to, you know, I make it like it's for sure, like, oh, we're going to close the deal today, you know. And 9 times out of 10 when I say that, it does happen because you know, you spoke it into existence, and then you kind of put that pressure on yourself. But you also kind of prepare them by letting them know we're going to have some customers that hate us, you know, because we're selling internet here. We're going to have some customers that love us. It's going to be, you know, both. And they go into it expecting that it's not a big deal when Spectrum's like telling us to get out, you know. They hate us, you know. They expected it.
you know, this job is easy, but you gotta be mentally tough. You gotta endure some customers that had some bad experience. It's not us. It might not be AT&T. It's just maybe some technician that messed up something, and all of a sudden they hate AT&T for it. That's the part of the job, right? So what I'm gonna show you today is how to be resilient. Today, it could be a tough day, or it could be a good day. You decide, right? But what I'm gonna show you is, you know, normally I see 10 customers, 10 decision makers, and I get one sale. So we gotta find that one sale. We gotta find that one customer that we can help. In the process of that, you know, there'll be some customers that may even cuss you out, maybe even like judge you the moment you walk in. They may even slam the door at you, right? Are you up for that? And they're like, oh shoot, really? Like, yeah, you know, but it's okay, you and me. It's cool. We can have some fun, right? We'll make the best of it, right? Let's go. Does that make sense? So I want to give them both perspectives so that way they're not surprised. That does create certainty. It actually is big. It's almost like you become the oracle, right? So imagine now you have to know your numbers too. That's why Stefan is always like, how many cells did it take for me to get to a cell now? We always calculate that. So one of the things that I would encourage you guys to do is figure out how many how many decision makers that you speak to get the one cell, and you want to track that in the course of a week. So that way you know what your law of average is, right? Yesterday, I found that out of 7 decision makers, we got one cell. So if that's what it is, then I know I need to get 8 people before I get one cell. Now I'm expecting it. So now when I'm getting like the 6 no's, that was cool, I still got one more, right? So what happened if the 8th one and it's still no? What happened then? What happened then? What happens 8 cells, like let's pull your law of average, and there's 8 freaking customers, you still got a 0. What do you do, Diego? What do you think? What should you be thinking?
The next one is definitely it.
Yeah, it might be back to back. I want to stop playing my game myself, right? It might be back to back. It's coming, man. It's coming. And then when at the 15th cell, there's still a no. What would you say to yourself then? 15 customers already. Your law of average is like supposedly not working right now. What's going on?
The next 10 doors, for sure.
The next 10 doors.
You're about to be like Steven and pull a 4-in-1.
Exactly, guys. That's what it is. So you may not know this, but it's so powerful what we're doing with our training and even ourselves, right? Because what we're teaching our mind to do is push ourselves when things get tough and keep on being optimistic. Now, I know it sounds like foo-foo crap, but it is the only way you will succeed in life. It is the only way you can have a beautiful relationship with those you love, because when the things get tough, will you tap out, or will you continue to think that there's an end in mind here that's going to be beautiful? And you know, there's scientifically proven in research that shows that optimistic people that's growth-minded always win, right? Because you can call it delusional. People call me delusional for years, right? You know, my own loved ones, my parents call me delusional. I was like, I'll show you, right? So it's the same thing, guys. And when you hit it, right? Worst case scenario is you don't. But normally when you don't, your attitude might stink. So then you can go back to what I was trying to get at, which we talk about all the time. Stefan's a big advocate for this, is systems. The biggest way to get, in my opinion, guys more certain in what we do is showing them a system that works, right? And when it doesn't work, it's also the system that's why it doesn't work, right? We didn't do the system correctly, right? That's what comforted me, because when I look at Stefan, when I first started, man, it was intimidating. I'm looking at Steve right now, it's intimidating. Right? I'm like, how the frick do you sell 5 different crap? You gotta know so much. I'm looking at him calculating crap, like he's already planning his next move. I'm over like, where do we go from here, man? Like, take over, right? It's like, what can I do to help? Because I don't know where freaking going with this, because you're gonna try to sell 5 different crap to one customer. Isn't that too much? Shouldn't you come back to do a follow-up or something? Like, no, I got one. Here's how I'm gonna save you the $40. You ready? You got 3 orders laid out. Dish is this much, DirecTV is this much, mobility is this much. I'm like, what the freak? Freaking impressive, right? So my point is, he has a system though, right? He knows what he's doing, and when we can convey systems to our people, they'll stick, right? So don't put too much pressure on yourself, put it on the system. Here's why it works, here's why it doesn't work, right? Creating certainty is another word for attitude, right? Because your attitude's on point, right? You had the certainty causes your attitude to be high, so when you talk to customers, you're more resilient. So let's review real quick. So I hope you're taking notes. I know this is kind of like freestyle, but the topic here is how to build team and create certainty with our people, because that's why they will stick. What is the number one reason you think that causes people to quit?
Uncertainty in
Not
themselves.
confident.
Yes, uncertainty in themselves. Uncertainty in what else?
Their skill set for this job.
Systems.
Their skill set. What else is uncertain about the job?
They're not confident.
They're not confident in themselves. They're also, it's a commission-only job. They're not confident that they can get the consistent money also, right? So you guys are sick individual. Kind of like crazy. Definitely made different because we love uncertainty for some reason, right? Regardless if you know it or not. We love the idea that today we don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna go out there, we'll figure it out, right? I'm gonna get like sales today, we'll see new customers, and we're not wired the same, right? Most people don't need more certainty than us. We need to give them certainty. Does that make sense, guys? Let's go back to what Travis says about they're uncertain about their ability and their confidence, right? Knowing that, what can we do? What the stuff we discussed, what would you hit them with? Like now, let's use the salesman mode. You're trying to close this person. I'm uncertain. I don't know if I can do it, man. Never done sales before. I've been living box for like 4 years. You know? How do you think I can do this, Joseph?
Sorry, I was letting.
Oh, no problem. Let's have someone else. So basically, I'm giving you an objection, new guy. Now, here's the thing about this, right? The objection I'm giving you like very straight out. A lot of time when it comes to new people, especially in the first week, since the relationship is not there with us yet, they're not telling you this. But you can tell, you can feel it, you can sense it, yes?
One of them just texted me. Yeah.
Right, so I'm gonna go over objection. So one of the objection is, hey, I don't think I can do this. I'm not confident. And you can tell when a guy go in and he's scared of pitch doors. That's not confident. Right now, he won't say it. Sometimes you will hear them, but a lot of times they don't. They just don't show up the next day. You know. So let's say you noticing this, he's like not confident and stuff. So that's the objection. He's insecure about himself. What can you say or do to add more certainty? I think. You think?
Man, this one's kind of a tough one because me personally, I've even dealt with this myself with previous trainees, and man, I would really just say that it's practice, right? So I would definitely role play with them and make sure that their pitch is actually, competent enough to be heard, and understood from a customer. So I'll definitely make sure that their pitch is just definitely competent, and I would definitely just have them hit more doors, whether it's splitting the street or, just him taking initiative and leading the way while me like shadowing him or something like that. I feel like that would be the best way. But
I'm sorry, go ahead, Isaac.
Oh no, yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna kind of share my experience with the trainee that I had, but
yeah, exactly. That's perfect. That's what continue. Then that was what exactly I was gonna.
Yeah. So it was actually this gentleman. His name was Sam. I don't know if you guys remember him. He was pretty young. He was only 19 years old, but he was with us for about 3-4 weeks, and he had only closed one deal in that whole time span, and it was just kind of tough, not a really lot of decision makers, stuff like that. But like even then, like it was just his own personal confidence. I felt. And I sensed, that was really lacking. And then ultimately, obviously, in the last day that he had hit me up, he was just like, "Yeah, man, like I don't know if I can do this. It's just uncertain." That was actually the word that he told me. He was, "It's too uncertain." The 100% commission and the fact that I'm taking rejection all day. Like I feel like you were saying, Ken, like we're really built different because not a lot of people can take rejection. So. I feel like, if we're able to just give these expectations loud and clear, when they first come in, like in the day of observation, stuff like that, I feel like they're able to more mentally prepare themselves for what they're walking into,
Right. So let's pause that. I want to make sure there's a balance in what we're doing because sometimes I say one thing and people run with it too far, right? So let's clarify real quick. It is true that we're built differently, that we can take more risk than most people. That's why we're in this job. But let me ask you guys, how confident were you guys on your first day at this job?
I wasn't too confident. If I'm being rich, you can.
We have to be mindful of that, right? So what gave confidence again was what you just said. The action is they gotta just keep doing it, but their mindset might be so jacked that they can't even do it. So one of the things I used to do, let me just shine on this real quick. One of the things I used to do is when I see somebody that's not confident, I'm like, oh, let me show you, right? And I'm like more confident, more swagger. What do you think happened to that guy that's not confident? Do you think that helps him or like makes him feel like worse? Worse. So let's talk about the strategy correctly here, because the people that you should do that with when they're like, when you want to show off, is the one that's confident already. Like sometimes when people have big ego and they're like, oh, I'm gonna, I can hit the doors and all that. Then you got to outmask them because you got to show them that you're better, right? Alpha versus alpha, right? So a lot of you guys can handle those people, but then when you talk about the potential looking like kid, but they're actually a lion inside, you kind of smash them too early, right? Like it's like, oh, we're built differently. Next, this is lions, not kittens, right? No, man.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, so one thing when I first started, what Gio told me, because Stefan ultimately trained me, but I went out in the field with Gio, I think my second week. And I remember him telling me, because I wasn't so confident in myself at the time, I had just started the business, I was unsure how well I was going to do here. And he let me know, he's like, Travis, he's like, I made only $800 my entire first month here. It's a learning curve. So as long as you stick to it, and want to put in the work to learn, you'll be successful. And the whole time I kept in my mind, he only made $800. I'm like, if I can do 700, 800, if I'm close to that or even more, then I can be to where he's at. Because you guys know how much Gio makes now. He's making good checks. So, if he only made $800 his first month, it's definitely something that we have to stick to learn. That way we can become good at it. You can't get good at something overnight.
Thank you for sharing that. It's right on the money, right? So when a guy's confident and thinking that it's not possible, share your old stories that you were hurting too. Not all of us here are rock stars like Steven. He is. I don't know. He's born to sell. I don't know, because his first day he's already like that. But most people take time, because they gotta be comfortable, build process and all that good stuff, like myself, right? So let's give them encouragement by sharing our weakness. The story that Travis just mentioned is key, right? That's what Stefan did with me as well, as I recalled it. First, he highlight the systems and what caused him to be successful. And every time he get a sell, he's not like, oh, I got the sell, I'm the best. He's like, this is how I got the sell. There's the 5s. It's the 4s. I use the Jones in this customer, right? That's one of the things we're gonna teach you, right? And one of the things that we're gonna teach you is like the impulse curve. Like right now, see this overturn objection stuff? I used to suck at that, but you see how I was able to overturn that? Yeah, it's called the 3 R's. I'm gonna teach you that later. Right, so he's like giving me confidence that I will eventually learn this and become like him. And he's also sharing stories like, dude, when I first started, I suck. My attitude's poor. Now you think my attitude is good now? I used to get hemmed up by the cop and I would just crap out and give up. But now, even if I get hemmed up by the cop, I still go and get sales. I was like, really? You weren't like this before? It's like, no, man. I was like, even worse than you, to be honest. So you see what I'm saying? And then that builds confidence right there. So everybody's a little different. That's why you have to use best judgment. But I want to make sure that we're not disqualifying people too early, right? It's almost like disqualifying a customer just because they said no or they give you an objection. A lot of times those are just a cry for help, right? A lot of times customers are just like, dude, I'm just venting right now. Nobody's helping me. I'm frustrated. My bill keeps going up. What's going on? Right? And you guys are the seasoned one. You're like, okay, this is good. They're telling me I just need to solve this. Does that make sense? So if you guys just have to solve confidence, that's not hard. Confidence can be built through action, like you said, Isaac, and then through past experience to show them that you don't have, where you're here now is not where you're going to be. There's level to the game and we'll help you along the way. Does that make sense? That's what our job is. Don't worry about that. I know what it takes to get good, right? Because I did it. I just need you to believe that you can follow the systems and take notes. Can you do that? And do you like working with me? You think I'm a cool guy? You think somebody I can you can listen to and take advice from? Yeah, okay, cool. Then the rest will be history. Let's have some fun today, all right? Just do me a favor. Give yourself 2 weeks. give yourself 2 weeks. That's what I did, because ultimately I can't decide for you, but you can't prematurely after a day or two say it's not for you. It's just too soon. You've just been observing me right now. Until you do it yourself, you don't know. So the first week, I'm going to show you how it's done. All right, we're going to ask a lot of questions. I'm going to dissect every customers, and we're going to learn together. The second week, that's when you go and do. Give yourself 2 weeks. On the second week, you'll know for sure, then we'll talk. So that's what I do. I close people in increment, just like customers, right? First you close the bill, and then you get, well, whatever, forgot the processor, but you understand what I'm talking about. You don't like all of a sudden like, hey, you're all in. Cut your blood here or brotherhood and freaking, I need you to freaking commit or get the freak out of here, right? we can't do that. Does that make sense? So close them on the 2 weeks first. The first week is I show you. The second week you do it yourself. The second week we'll talk about it and we'll figure out if this is for you and what we need to do to either move forward or need to do to leave. Right? But I'm just here for you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys doing something similar to that? Where when you on the first week or the first few days, you actually tell your people this, that just give it 2 weeks. Right? Check it out for yourself.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
And it's along with what you're saying, but just so I can kind of get better at keeping a pulse on the people. For that guy that you're showing him the money, and you're breaking down the systems. Every day you're being patient with them, and they're saying some very things that give you indications they're very encouraged, even though they're not getting the sale. And then you're breaking down the system. They're getting a little better, but they're just a slow learner. And then out of nowhere, it goes from the day before, I'm about to kill, the next day to they just quit. I'm trying to figure out how to better judge that situation, or see it coming a little better. Or what do you do in these situations?
I give you my opinion and experience, right? That's all I could do. So the truth is, I don't have the answer to that, right? Through experiences, I've learned to have intuitions. That's all intuition is. So the more people you go through, the more better your radar is, right? Your Spider-Man sense tingles wider, right? It's like, that's why Stefan's like, sometime at Oracle is like, oh, this is gonna happen. And you're like, well, how do you know? You've freaking been doing it longer, right? I know because I've been doing a lot of same thing with Steve. So trust the advice of your leaders, because we have your best interest in mind. We're aligned, you win, we win. You all know that. So in terms of identifying that, it's I can tell only if I know the person personally. If the person trusts me, then I can know them, because then they're honest with me, right? But if the person doesn't trust you to begin with, Joseph, because maybe they're just not a trusting person or whatever, you can't know. You won't know. It's not, it's not enough time. Like, one of my mission in life is to be like Sherlock Holmes, where I walk in the room, see someone and know exactly what they do in life and all that, right? But that's a long way coming, man. It's gonna take a lot more experience, So
right.
Yeah, don't be frustrated. But what I can do is, just like poker, I stopped trying to read the player. In poker, what I do, and I normally win, by the way. Now that we're open again, I'm up for poker games. I love that. Okay, so I test the players, right? I give you my strategy. So even if I still win, is I will test your commitment, right? So if I have a hand and I want to see who the other person has better hand, I will raise the stake. And then I will see who reacts to the things I'm doing. So instead of like trying to understand what's going on, I'm testing the situation to see the reaction. If I'm getting the right reaction, then I know this person has it, this person doesn't, and I know what to do next. So that's how I know what to do, is I test the situation. So go back to the example of that guy. How come he's all committed, all of a sudden he fell out? Test them sooner, right? What Steven does that is very apparent is he tests his people commitment, right? He started off already like, hey, come work out with me, right? The sooner someone work out with him in the morning, whoever freaking crazy enough to wake up at 5 in the morning, he knows he got him. That's the guy he's gonna focus on, right? That's it, he tests the commitment, right? The same thing with a new guy. The new guy is like, barely started, okay, it's like, hey, meet with me an hour earlier. Or, why don't you come, do you wanna like do dinner later. Let's talk. Let's just strategize and think about how we can do it right. If he says yes, that means more committed. He's not going anywhere. If he say no right away, I'm like, okay, I need to protect my feelings now because this might be coming. Hey, Stefan, I need a new person. Does that make sense? So test your people, right? Raise the stake and see who's gonna follow along. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So test their reaction to things, and then test their commitment by, just seeing what they're willing and not willing to do.
Exactly, right? And then like same thing with confidence. So let's say the first day they're like not feeling confident to hit the door at all. The second day, are they willing to do 20% more? If they're not willing to do that on the second day, it tells me right here, this person have a fixed mindset. If I can't fix this, I might have to cut my loss because he's not wanting to grow. Yeah. Right? So these are the things that you can see, right? And then there's a whole bunch of crap you can't see, which is their family. You can't control that. But at least while you're with them, you can observe and see who you really have, right?
Right.
I hope that helps. Steven, I think you have your hand up earlier.
Yeah, I would say Joseph, like hell. You'll understand whether the person is not qualified or not. And what I do, I kind of build it up. I don't just assume. So what I do in the beginning, I told them, hold my folder or hold my bag. And then your job is to hold it. Since you're holding, you're going to be good. You're going to be making money. Now, I usually back it up almost 100% of the time. And a lot of times when they're nervous like that or they're giving me signs, I have a Chanel cologne in my car. And I'm like, are you nervous? Let me spray some cologne on you. You smell good now. So you're good. And it kind of builds some confidence in them. Like, what the hell is this guy talking about? And then when you get a customer, it's how your reaction. A lot of trainers, a lot of team leaders that I've seen so far, you might be confident and you might sound positive over the conference call, but when you're in the field, how do you handle the rejection? And how easy are you handling the customers? Because how you're handling the customers is going to make your trainee feel a certain type of...
Right. So, okay. So when you have them hold your folder, that's really just a test to see what they're willing to do?
No, holding the folder is just for them to feel that it's like having a pen. The pen is basically gonna get you a deal. Don't worry about nothing else. Don't worry about how the day goes. As long as you have this pen, you'll be good. I don't know if you've seen that movie. I forgot where the kid wearing the sunglasses is Big Daddy, right? Adam Sandler. And then the kid is like nervous about like talking to people, and he wears the sunglasses, and now he's like invincible.
Right.
The same thing, same kind of concept. Where I tell him, hey, you're holding my lucky folder. So when you hold my lucky folder, we're gonna make money. And he's like, really? You're gonna hold the folder? Yeah, you're gonna hold my folder, so you know how to do it. So it's something that I do for fun. And I tell him like, hold my pen or something. So I got a lucky pen that I have all the time. So it just gives them confidence. Or the same thing with the cologne thing. So you're nervous because you don't smell good. Now you smell good. So it's something it's like, it's in their head, and it makes them laugh. Sometimes all you need is a smile on their face, and everything be easier.
Dropping gems, okay. I'm gonna try it out.
Guys. Yeah, everything that we're talking about here, guys, what's the harm in trying it out, right? A lot of time I'm like, I don't know, I'm speaking for myself here, but I tend to be very skeptical. Like, show me first, then I do it. And nothing slows me down, man. I was like, by the time they show me, they're moving forward. I'm still stuck in like show me mode. You know what I'm saying? Just freaking do it. And then if it doesn't work, don't do it. That's all. It's not that big of a deal, So the whole pen thing, it's like, I just remind me of the movie, the elephant, the flying elephant?
Dumbo,
remind me of Dumbo, right? With the whole feather thing. Right? Same concept. It truly works. Right? It's a part of building your people up, right? Until they believe in themselves.
I kind of like that, Steven. I'm going to use that because I carry like a little gold $100 bill in my folder. I'm going to just be like, here, hold this.
I would
I tell them to hold it all day. Especially when I get out of the car, I tell them I don't like holding the folder. You hold the folder. Just remember, bring the folder every time you get out of the car. And they're bringing the folder. I don't know. It just works for me.
Definitely. I don't like holding
it. Diego, you said about to say something?
No, I just remember this one example in a Harry Potter movie. They're gonna do like one of those Quidditch matches, where they're on the broomsticks playing the sport. If you don't know what that is. And Ron, the side character, is like the goalie, right? And he's like so nervous about the championship game, this and that. And they're like, Ron, you know, like take this potion. This potion is gonna make you the best goalie ever. And then he ends up taking it. And throughout the game, he's like performing amazing, doesn't let one goal in, this and that. Like they won the game because he was a very good goalie. At the end of the game, he's like, man, thank you for giving me that potion. He said, that wasn't the potion. We just gave you some juice. So,
Placebo effect.
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, and everybody have their thing, but it is true, man. The mind is crazy. I think Gio posted that thing about Oprah. Anybody see that video he posted? But I don't know if he posted on the party chat.
I think it was Andy.
Oh, was it Andy? Oh, right, it's Andy, where this guy had Oprah hold a coin, and then he's directing her to just close her eye and visualize there's a string with a coin. Visualize the coin moving in a certain direction and stuff, and she was able to do it. I'm gonna try that. Just see, but it's freaking fascinating what the mind can do, because we're all like, you know, atoms and electrons, and how the mind and thoughts is actually can be physical, right? So if you can do that with a string of things, what can you really do if you put your mind to something? So one of the jobs of a leader, a really good one, is to inspire greatness in people before they believe in themselves. Right? If you don't know that's your job, that's it. It comes with that. Okay? And the more you can do that, the greater you'll become, and the more successful in life you'll be, in a personal level and also in the arena of wealth in terms of finance. Right? Because money is produced when you're able to add value to people, and you're more valuable. Does that make sense, guys? So, you know, keep that in mind. So we don't do enough of overturning objections when it comes to trainee. We don't do enough of that. But that is the name of the game. You got to level up now, not just dealing with customers. Now you're dealing with people, and your goal is like, okay, here's an objection, commission only. I can't do commission only. I have a family, or, you know, my mom would kill me if she knows I'm doing commission only. That's the objection. Who have a solution? Who's a solution provider? Who's the best sales guys here? How you overturn that? Through actions and words, what would you do? Except for Steven, I know you have the answer to this one. Commission. I'm a little uncertain about commission. I don't
Commission?
think I can, yes, you know,
Commission?
I need a salary, man.
Listen, man, commission sucks only if you suck. But guess what? I don't suck, and I know I can teach you how not to suck. We're gonna get you good at this. We're gonna get you making money, man. Don't worry about it.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Okay, that's pretty good. Give a round of applause here. Give a round of applause, right? Because they said that with confidence, good energy, and all that good stuff, right? Who do you think they can do, you know, a different way?
If he dies, he dies. No, I just
Some people hear that like, oh, frick, next one. Stefan, Gio, give me a new guy. I don't need this crap. I'm gonna hit some doors. Start leaving the guy. You got high finish a sentence and you're already out.
Hey Ken, or Joseph, were you gonna say something? I don't want to cut you off.
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I think what I would tell my guy would be that, I don't know if it sounds crazy, but I actually like the commission, man. I feel like I don't really like being told what I'm worth, or you know, putting in the work and not being paid out for it, you know. So I definitely feel like the commission job, like although the risk is very high, the reward is probably even higher. So I would definitely just try and instill confidence in that, you know, being that you're in control of what you get paid, you know, what you're able to produce. And ultimately, I know it sounds ironic because you're 100% in control, yet it's 100% of uncertainty, you know? So I know it sounds a little ironic.
Or 100% certainty. It's all on you, like Diego says, right?
Right. So I feel like I would kind of do that. Like I just kind of would say like, hey man, like I don't like being told what I'm worth, you know, like I like going out there being 100% in control of who I talk to when I do these things, you know. So I feel like I would instill that.
So you guys have solutions, right? Now let's do some salesmanship here, right? I feel like we sell with the customer, and then all of a sudden we left all that skill behind when we're dealing with our rep. Because I feel the same way with my family. I was like, wait, have all the skills and stuff. I'm not using my family. I just started recently do that a few years ago. So use your salesmanship, right? What did we teach how to overturn objection? What are the systems that we use to overturn objection correctly? You have the solution. Now put it in the 3 R's and the 3 F's. Now how would you overturn that objection? Hey, commission, man, that's scary. You know, I need the salary, man. I need that fixed stuff.
Understand
Yeah,
how you
Ken,
feel, Mr. Customer. You know, a couple.
No, I want you to be real. Don't like. This is a real deal here. So like, pitch me. I'm Ken. I work at UPS for 5 years. I want like a salary. You know, it feels like I'm backtracking. If I'm doing commission only, I mean, what if I don't make money that week, man? I'm just being real with you, Diego. I don't think it's for me.
Understand how you feel, Ken. You know, a lot of other people have felt the same way. But look, how many people are just on this call right now? What number is it?
I think it was like 35.
35 people just on the sales part. Every single one of these people are on commission, just the same way you're gonna be. And every one of these people also have families, also have kids to feed, also have responsibilities to take care of. Now, do you believe in yourself, Ken?
Of course. What the frick? Why do you think I'm here, man? I'm trying to do better. I believe in myself. I'm the one.
Are you a hard worker, Ken?
Oh yeah, that's no doubt. I am a freaking beast. I actually got the supervisor of the year 2 years in a row, man. It's like I am they call me Goku at UPS.
I love anime, man. So guess what, Ken? If you could just apply the same amount of things what you learned over there, now just apply it over here, I guarantee you're gonna be successful here.
Who will be close by Diego with that?
Sheesh, I'd be close by you.
I'm
Diego.
close. Done. They're like, woo. That's what I'm talking about. Let's use your salesmanship and apply it to your people. You have the ability to rate. Let's transfer the knowledge. All right. Does that make sense, guys? Because you know what to do. You just haven't been doing it in this arena. It's a different arena now. Overturn the objection as you would a customer. That's the customer that have a concern. In this case, commission. Great job, Diego. Wait.